Now at 8 o'clock, newly released video that takes us into a Clackamas County jail cell where a deputy repeatedly punches a man with intellectual disabilities. That beating is the center of a federal lawsuit. The man's mom says the deputy's punishment to this point has been, quote, a slap on the wrist. Also ahead, the latest on the Burdoin fire burning on the Washington side of the gorge. We're going to hear from people who had to evacuate because of the fire. Plus,
I never wanted to not be playing for this organization, but to be back in this community.
Yep, back in the community and back with the Trailblazers. We're going to hear from Damian Lillard as he explains what it means for him to be a Blazer again. The 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise starts right now. Good morning and thanks for joining us here in the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise. I'm Drew Carney. Chris McGinnis still on board, taking a look at both weather and traffic for us.
We are waking up to cloud cover this morning, and this is the look at the visible satellite imagery. Now that we've got a little light of day, we've got a better perspective of the clouds that are hugging the Oregon coast that have worked their way in through the mouth of the Columbia and now into the Portland, Vancouver metro area. And even farther south, down towards the Wilsonville area. So the clouds have actually made some pretty good inroads this morning. That's about as far as they're going to go, though. Eventually, they will peel away, and we will see sunshine coming our way a little bit later on this morning. Again, it's gray over downtown, though. It's 60 last check in downtown and at the airport. 58 McMinnville, Kaiser at 58, and Salem sitting at 60. The plan for today, again, mostly cloudy or partly sunny. For the first part of our day, the clouds will retreat. The sunshine returns, and we've got highs in the mid-80s today. We'll dial up the heat a few more degrees. Wednesday's going to be a hot day. More on that coming up with your 7-day. It's just a few minutes. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads. And we start off with the Banfield. That's our latest slow spot. Westbound I-84, pretty tight coming in from I-205 towards 82nd Avenue and beyond. There's the live look right now near the Halsey overpass, and you can see traffic puttering along coming in from Troutdale. At last check, that's nearly 30 minutes now from the I-5, from Marine Drive to the I-5 split. And the trip out of Clark County, that's a little misleading because most of that traffic now has made its way to the Oregon side of the interstate bridge. But if you're hopping on in Vancouver right now, plan on about 18 to 20 minutes to get you down to the Fremont. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. Top story here at 8 o'clock. Clackamas County is facing a federal lawsuit after a video shows a sheriff's deputy repeatedly punching a man in a holding cell. The man's mother says her son has dealt with developmental disabilities his entire life. KGW's Devin Haskins has more on the story. We do want to warn you, though, that the holding cell video may be difficult for some people to watch.
Video from inside a holding cell shows Antoine Williams asleep on a jail bed when Deputy Gina Marie Fisher enters, touches his back, then lifts up his shirt. According to her report, she asked him to remove a second shirt he was wearing. After several seconds, Williams removes a shirt and then throws it at Fisher's legs. Then he tosses a jail smock at her head. Fisher then punches Williams 7 times in the head and face while another deputy grabs his arm. Williams is then taken to the ground, restrained, and removed from the jail cell.
So if a person who's on this video, who's getting punched repeatedly over and over and over and over again, that's outrageous. It's not fair. It's not okay for anybody to go through that.
Williams' mom, Diane Robertson, says she felt sick seeing her son punched like that. Lawyers on behalf of her son filed a federal lawsuit alleging Clackamas County violated his civil rights and his rights as a vulnerable person with a disability. She says he struggled with mental illness since he was a teenager.
I felt better when my child was incarcerated than I knew where he was.
In her report, Deputy Fisher said she punched Williams because she feared Williams might attack her after the smock hit her face, blocking her vision. Oregon State Police investigated the encounter and charged Fisher with 2 counts of official misconduct and harassment. She pled guilty to a lesser charge of official misconduct and was sentenced to probation and community service. Williams' mom called it a slap on the wrist.
I'm devastated, guys. I really am. It's not fair for anybody to be abused in the system, period. Whether you go to jail or you don't go to jail.
Devin Haskins, KGW News.
So a couple of other notes to Devin's report there. The sheriff's office did fire Fisher this past February. Also, the lawsuit doesn't ask for any specific damages, but lawyers say it could take several years to go through the entire process. All right, also in local news this morning, a Hillsborough teen who shot and killed one classmate and injured another at a birthday party 2 years ago has been sentenced to life in prison. Derek Torres was just shy of 18 years old at the time of those shootings. Earlier this month, he pleaded guilty to murder and attempted murder. Hillsborough police say he was affiliated with a local gang. A judge sentenced him to life with a minimum of 32 years, but because he was a juvenile at the time, he'll be eligible for parole in 15 years. Meanwhile, police arrested a 17-year-old they say stole a car and rammed patrol cars in North Portland. Police got a report of the stolen car near North Minnesota Avenue and Alberta Street on Sunday morning. So officers tracked down the car and they blocked it in, but they say the 17-year-old repeatedly rammed their patrol cars trying to get away. Eventually, police arrested the teen and later found a gun inside the car. In Southeast Portland, police arrested a man after an hours-long standoff at the Mall 205 Target store. This started around 10:30 yesterday morning when police say the man threatened a security guard with a knife and a hatchet and then ran inside the store. Officers eventually found him hiding in a storage area. Crisis negotiators talked with him for more than 5 hours before he finally dropped the knife and surrendered. All right, Damian Lillard officially back in Portland. Last night, we heard from the All-Star guard for the first time since he rejoined the Blazers, signing that new 3-year deal. KGW's Catherine Cook reports here. She says Lillard came back for both professional and personal reasons.
Holding up the letter O, Damian Lillard smiled before a packed press room, a Portland Trailblazer once again.
You know, it means a lot to me to not only play for this organization again. I never wanted to not be playing for this organization, but to be back in this community.
Lillard said his return to Portland feels like the perfect situation at the perfect time. Last month, the Milwaukee Bucks waived Lillard after he suffered a torn Achilles tendon during the playoffs. He'll spend the first of his 3-year, $42 million contract with Portland in rehab, but that's just on paper.
I told him that this year he's going to be the highest paid assistant coach in league history.
Even while he was with the Bucks, Lillard says he paid close attention to the Blazers, often pondering how he'd fit into the roster. He says he never counted Portland out, even if others did.
Maybe because it's Portland, people may not be willing to say it, but you know, it's all there. You know, from the talent to the depth to having it on both sides of the ball, it's all there.
Just really thankful to Dame for trusting in us, for believing in us, and for coming back.
Lillard says the move was also for his family, especially his 3 young kids. They were by his side Saturday when he signed his contract. He waited until that moment to tell them the news.
Turned around and my daughter was looking at me and I told her and she was like, wait, so like we don't have to get on the airplane to Milwaukee no more? I was like, yeah, like y'all don't gotta get on the plane no more. And she was like, so you're gonna be at your house in Portland the whole time? I was like, yeah.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
All right, from the latest on Dame, we're going to take this live look right now from Chemeketa Community College in Salem. We've got some action happening this morning in the 8 o'clock hour. That is Dr. Tim Cook leading the running charge here this morning, just behind waving to us. Hello there, Dr. Tim. Dr. Tim Cook is the president of Clackamas Community College, and he's running more than 1,500 miles, paying a visit to all 17 of Oregon's community colleges. Here's why. He wants to raise awareness, he says, and support for students of all kinds. Students facing housing insecurity, students facing food shortages, those with child care challenges, some with transportation barriers. He wants to show more support for our local community college students, and he's doing it on foot. Really cool to see him show up this morning again at Chemeketa Community College in Salem. Dr. Tim Cook running for a lot of kids and a lot of students here, Chris McGinnis.
That's a lot of miles. He's
Oh, absolutely.
gonna do all that in like 3 months?
Yeah, no, quite the endeavor there. By
500 miles a month. Oh my goodness.
Pretty crazy.
Good for him. Great cause. Good for him. Really, and as a runner can appreciate. He needs a good massage therapist now is probably what he needs. All right, let's take you down to our Chehalem tasting room camera in Sherwood. This has gotten progressively cloudier as we've gone through the morning. I'm actually intrigued by this, just meteorologically, that the clouds have made their way that far south and have really thickened up. Now, all that said, they are going to burn off, and they're not down to Salem. They're not going to get to Salem. It's sunny right now. It's 60 in Salem. But here we are from our Rose City sky camera. We've got a slate gray sky over downtown. It's 60 in downtown right now, 60 in Scappoose. Battleground waking up to 57. As we slide southward, 60, Dallas, Salem, Kaiser, Almsville at last report, checking in with 56 degrees. All right, here's the visible satellite imagery, and now that we're later into the morning, we've got the light of day that really highlights the marine push that we got late last night and early this morning. Cloud cover has worked its way into western Clackamas County down to about Wilsonville, or just south of, down to like almost down to the Donald Aurora area. And obviously we could see that on our Chehalem tasting room camera as well. A good chunk of Multnomah County is cloudy, and then up the I-5 corridor in the lower Columbia Valley through Cowlitz County and out towards the beach. Beaches are socked in as well. All right, all that talk about the cloud cover, it's going to be gone as we go into the afternoon. Futurecast shows those clouds peeling away, and we go mostly sunny and warmer, much warmer today than yesterday. So the trend over the last couple of days has been quite cool, right? 70 on Sunday. We were 78 yesterday. Today we shoot for a high of about 86 in Portland. So it will feel noticeably warmer today. And tomorrow is the peak of the heat for the week. I've got Portland topping out at 90 degrees on Wednesday, and then we dial it back a little bit for Thursday and heading into the weekend, but the forecast remains dry. All right, let's get you out the door. A slow spot, if you're just checking in with us, maybe you've been away and you live down in the Donald Aurora area, you know that work is continuing on that I-5 interchange. Here's the big deal this week. The northbound on-ramp to I-5 is closed for 2 weeks as ODOT continues the reconfiguration there, and consequently all that northbound traffic is using Highway 551. So we zoom in on that, you can see northbound we're puttering along at about 11 miles an hour to get you up to Arndt Road and eventually rejoin I-5 just shy of Charbonneau. So that's kind of the traffic alert for you folks in Clackamas and Marion County. We'll take you farther north to the Banfield, 84 westbound, puttering along a little bit, coming in from the Gateway District, 14 miles an hour or so there. Right now, Drew, it's about a 29-minute ride to get you from Troutdale to the I-5 split.
Thank you, Chris.
I hypothesize that by the end of the century, we'll see a pretty large increase in the dark zones across the Greenland ice sheet.
What are the dark zones? What is the Greenland ice sheet? What do those two things have to do with rising sea levels? I could probably explain it to you, but it might take me about 2.5 months. Instead, our Environment Northwest team will wrap it all up in 2.5 minutes for us. They'll explain it after this quick break. Also ahead.
President Trump hosting another foreign leader today, looking to focus on trade, while on Capitol Hill, a House Republican is leading a charge to force a vote on releasing the full Epstein files. I'm Alice Barr in Washington. Latest details coming up.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Researchers from Western Washington University are taking a closer look at the Greenland ice sheet, one of the largest contributors to sea level rise. Brady Wakayama with our Environment Northwest team spoke with the scientist that's leading this research team.
think this work is important due to the sheer volume of the Greenland ice sheet and how it really does have a global impact.
Western Washington University Associate Professor of Environmental Science, Alia Khan, is on top of the world.
The Greenland ice sheet is one of the largest contributors to global sea level rise.
For the past week, she and her team of researchers from Western have been literally scratching the surface of the Greenland ice sheet. It's about 3 times the size of Texas, making it the second largest ice sheet in the world behind Antarctica.
We are trying to better understand how the darkening of the albedo across this region of the dark zone of the Greenland ice sheet, how that is contributing to increased sea level rise.
Khan says the dark zones of this ice sheet stem from wildfires over the years, raging primarily from Canada. She says the fires send smoke and black carbon pollution high into the atmosphere. Winds then carry that pollution thousands of miles, some of it landing on the icy expanse of Greenland.
I hypothesize that by the end of the century, we'll see a pretty large increase in the dark zones across the Greenland ice sheet.
So why is that concerning? Khan says when dark particles settle on the ice, they cause it to absorb more heat from the sun, melting much faster than usual and contributing to the rising sea levels worldwide.
Global sea level rise has implications for infrastructure, economies, development, safety.
According to the National Snow and Ice Data Center, if the entire Greenland ice sheet melted, the sea level would rise about 24 feet. Khan and her team are wrapping up their exploration Sunday, planning on evaluating their findings that will help improve projections for future sea levels.
As soon as we have results to share, I would love to reconnect and let you know what we have found here.
For Environment Northwest, I'm Brady Wakayama.
All right, let's go to another scientific fella now. Meteorologist Chris McGinnis standing by in the Weather Center. What do you have behind you there, Chris?
Let's show you some snow at the tippy top of Mount Jefferson. This is from our Timberline camera here, pointed south towards Mount Jefferson, the Three Sisters off in the distance. And down below, if you've been watching us throughout the morning, for starters, thank you. The other thing that you can see is that the cloud cover, which was fairly solid earlier today, is beginning to break up. This is that marine cloud deck that has pushed its way all the way into the Cascade foothills. It's already starting to erode a little bit, so a sign of, yes, our forecast is on track. The morning clouds will retreat. But before then, there's a pretty shot here from our Chehalem tasting room camera in Sherwood. You can see the grapes down below the vineyard and the cloud cover that is still trying to pour southward deeper into the Willamette Valley. And obviously we are waking up to a slate gray sky here over downtown. Our Rose City Sky camera verifying that. So here's a look at the satellite imagery. And now that we have the light of day, you can see how the nooks and crannies there in the Coast Range have had that cloud cover work in. But in the last couple of frames, the clouds are now finally starting to retreat there, and they will too shortly here in the metro area as well. 60 last check in Scappoose. King City waking up to 56 degrees. We widen out the view here just a little bit. Eugene sits at 57, as does Baker City and Pendleton. At last check, 63 degrees. All right, here's Futurecast. And again, our modeling doing a nice job of picking up on that marine push overnight and early this morning. Those clouds retreat. We finished the day with sunshine. And it's just like that. We are back to our regularly scheduled warm and dry July. With the exception of eastern Oregon, there is at least a slight chance of a shower or thunder shower out there later today. So in the Blues and the Wallowas, especially in the higher terrain, getting out in that part of the state. All right, it's cloudy right now at the coast. The coastal clouds will clear. We'll finish the day with highs in the mid-60s. Pacific City up towards Astoria. The live look from Oregon's Veterans Home in the Dalles. You can see the tippy top there of Mount Hood off to the south and west. It'll turn breezy again through the gorge and sunny and warmer as well. The Dalles gets up to about 90 today. Central Oregon, again, areas of wildfire smoke and haze with a high temperature of about 86 in Madras this afternoon. And as we've been mentioning, up and down the I-5 corridor, noticeably warmer today. We were 70 on Sunday, 78 yesterday. We shoot for 86 today. And as we fast forward into tomorrow, tomorrow's the hot day of the week. We'll shoot for a high of about 90. And then the remainder of the week remains dry with temperatures generally in the low to mid 80s, taking us into, I can't believe it, the final weekend in July. Saturday and Sunday morning, maybe some brief morning clouds, especially at the coast, otherwise sunny and warm with highs in the low 80s both days. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads right now. We start off with a traffic map that's got lots of color on it, and that usually means slow spots. There's one of them, I-205 southbound traffic coming towards your television screen. That's from the Gladstone area. We're puttering along a little bit from Clackamas to West Lynn. As you get south of West Lynn, the speeds pick up a little bit. The Banfield, I-84 westbound traffic also tight coming in from Gateway. At last check, that's about a 28-minute ride to get you in from Troutdale to the I-5 split. There's some sun poking out on the west side. That's the Sunset inbound. You're looking at the sun right in the driver's eye as folks climb the Sylvan Hill. Right now we're looking at about 23 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough. Drew?
All right, Chris, here's a question for the audience. What sounds better, high fructose corn syrup or real cane sugar? Coca-Cola is shaking things up. Out with the syrup and in with the sugar. The new version of Coke is part of this morning's national headlines right after this.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Welcome back to Sunrise. President Trump is meeting with world leaders today to push for new trade deals. And that meeting comes as the Congressional Congress reports on just how much the president's big, beautiful bill will actually cost. NBC's Alice Barr has more on this for us from Washington, D.C.
President Trump today meeting with the president of the Philippines, expected to talk trade 10 days out from sweeping reciprocal tariffs set to hit trading partners around the world. The Treasury Secretary saying the administration is not rushing trade negotiations.
We are more concerned with high quality deals than getting these deals done by August 1st.
As U.S. businesses brace for the impact of higher import taxes and weigh passing costs on to consumers, a new report from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office projecting the president's One Big Beautiful Bill Act will add $3.4 trillion to the national debt, with spending and lost revenue from extended tax cuts far outstripping cuts to programs like Medicaid, expected to cost 10 million Americans their health insurance.
Republicans' signature bill is the ultimate betrayal of the American people.
Republicans emphasizing the law's provisions like no tax on tips as leadership tries to brush off efforts led by House Republican Thomas Massie to force a vote on releasing the full files about notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
There is no daylight between the House Republicans, the House, and the president on maximum transparency.
The House Speaker arguing to give the administration space, with the White House underscoring President Trump's request to unseal grand jury testimony and for the DOJ and FBI to release any other credible evidence, seeking to push past a lingering controversy still dividing the MAGA base.
And then there's this. 1 year after former President Biden dropped out of the 2024 race, his son Hunter suggested in a new interview that his father's poor performance in that fateful debate may have been caused by using the sleep aid Ambien after extensive foreign travel. The former president's office had no comment. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Here's a look at some other national headlines this morning with your Morning Rush. A federal judge in Kentucky sentenced former Louisville police detective Brett Hankinson to 33 months in prison and 3 years probation for violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights. The Department of Justice argued that he should serve just 1 day behind bars because the shots he fired didn't actually hit Taylor during their deadly encounter at her apartment in 2020. It's still not clear when Hankinson will surrender. Meanwhile, Brian Koberger will be sentenced tomorrow for the 2022 murders of 4 University of Idaho students. He avoided the death penalty by pleading guilty earlier this month, but he never gave a motive. He will have a chance to speak in court tomorrow before being sentenced to life without parole. The victims' families will also give impact statements. And news from Coca-Cola this morning. Coca-Cola is releasing a brand new version of Coke made with real cane sugar. So this drink will launch here in the U.S. this fall and will be sold in addition to Coke's original product that uses high fructose corn syrup. Some versions of Coke using real cane sugar already exist. Mexican Coke already uses that real cane sugar, but now we will have it available throughout the U.S. And that's a look at your Morning Rush. Coming up in our next half hour of Sunrise, we're tracking the latest on the Burdoin fire burning on the Washington side of the gorge. And we'll also have the latest for you on search and rescue efforts in Deschutes County. Crews say they will take as much time as they need to recover the final person who went missing after a group of people went over Dillon Falls while floating on the Deschutes River last weekend.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Good morning, I'm China Green. In Deschutes County, a second body has been recovered after 6 people went over Dillon Falls west of Bend while tubing over the weekend. 3 people were rescued and taken to the hospital. 2 others died. Officials say they will continue their efforts to find the 6th person for however long it takes. There are signs posted around the area warning people floating on the river to get out before the drop. Headed over to Chris McGinnis for a look at weather.
Good morning again, China. Off to a cloudy start. You can see behind me our Wells Fargo sky camera showing a slate gray sky over downtown. It's 60 last check at PDX, by the way. The satellite imagery certainly showing that good marine push that we got overnight last night and early this morning. Clouds getting as far south as Wilsonville and even into the Sherwood area. Those clouds are going to retreat, and we will see sun pretty quickly as we get towards the noon hour and beyond. And today will be noticeably warmer than yesterday. So we hit 70 on Sunday. We get to, well, 78 yesterday. Today, 86. And I'll step out of the way. You can see the 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, Wednesday, the peak of the heat at 90 degrees. Not a drop of rain in that 7-day forecast. Warm and dry into the final weekend of July.
Good morning. Earlier this morning, we asked you to text us some of your favorite hiking photos, and you guys showed out. So first we have PJ at Dabney State Park, Nancy from the Beaverton area, and then we have Shannon at Dog Mountain. Now, Shannon told us something very specific. She told us that there were, quote, many curse words on the way up, but the view was worth it. But thank you so much for sending us your photos, and it's good to know, Nancy. We'll make sure to not take the kiddos there. All right, we're going to go over to Chris McGinnis to take a look at weather.
It's a lot of work. I mean, you know,
yes.
Right? And nothing makes you feel better than a few expletives muttered beneath your breath. All right, let's go ahead and check out the live look right now from downtown Portland, looking over, well, a cloudy sky right now. We are waking up to sleek gray sky over downtown. It's 60. Interesting to watch the satellite imagery here now that we've got the light of day. The nooks and crannies here in the Coast Range allowing that marine air to seep in, and so that's why we're seeing the clouds as far south as like Sherwood and Wilsonville. The beach is socked in with cloud cover as well. All of that will retreat, as in disappear as we go to the afternoon. We'll finish our day with sun, but for now it's cloudy. It's 59 though in Hillsborough. We are seeing some sunshine on that part of the metro area. 60 in Salem. Clouds have not made it far that south, nor will they. But the plan for the rest of us will be increasing sunshine as we roll through the day today. I've got us at about 73 at lunchtime and then working our way into the mid 80s. Later today. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads. We start off with the traffic map that's pretty slow. No, that's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to take you over to the Gladstone area, but we'll start off in North Portland. The end of the line out of Vancouver has made its way across the Interstate Bridge, and it starts right there at the Expo Center, about 16 miles an hour that drive puttering along southbound. Now we go to Gladstone. That's also a little slow right now from I-205 southbound out of Clackamas to Westland, a little thick over the Abernathy Bridge, and last but not least, that's the I-5 drive through Tualatin, northbound on the left-hand side of your screen, puttering along at about 15 miles an hour. There is a little bit of sun on the west side. There's the inbound Sunset right now at the Sylvan Hill. Right now, 22 minutes, your inbound drive from Hillsborough to downtown. China?
Thank you, Chris. Your time now is 8:32, and the primary focus of our wildfire coverage this week is a Burdoin fire burning on the Washington side of the gorge in Clackamas County. It started late last week and has already destroyed homes and forced communities to evacuate. So here's a look at how it all unfolded. It started just after 2:30 last Friday afternoon near Lyle, Washington. Gusty winds and dry brush fueled the spread, and by Friday night, the fire had grown to more than 1,500 acres, forcing level 3 evacuations and closing SR-14. It grew to 6,000 acres on Saturday, jumping the Klickitat River, pushing east and destroying homes along the way. By Sunday, the fire had burned more than 8,500 acres. At least 14 homes have been destroyed and dozens more damaged. Level 1, 2, and 3 evacuation orders remain in place. And we spoke to a woman who had to evacuate, and she's also dealing with the fact that her home will never be the same.
I'm just sick. All I think about is my little dog. When I see them photos, I just think of my little dog. And Tommy and Annie, they both died. They went up and they found them in the house. Well, I mean, where the house was. They were laying side by side.
Meanwhile, crews in Central Oregon have made significant progress on the Cram Fire, the largest wildfire in the United States so far this year. This is video of crews from Clackamas County working on the fire's edge to prevent flare-ups. The Cram Fire is 73% contained, but has already burned nearly 96,000 acres. Evacuation levels have been lowered in parts of Jefferson, Wasco, and Crook counties. But stay with KGW for updates on these fires, available anytime at KGW.com or on the KGW mobile app. You can also stream us anytime on our TV app, KGW Plus. Forest Grove Fire and Rescue extinguished a small brush fire that started in a ryegrass field on Northwest Thatcher Road. Officials say a farming combine working in the field started the fire. In total, it burned about 3/4 of an acre. Power lines above the fire were inspected but were not damaged. Oregon State Police are looking into the circumstances surrounding a man who died in Columbia County when his car crashed and a deputy shot him. Authorities say on Sunday, 47-year-old Kyle Graham led deputies on a chase near Deer Island and Highway 30 before he crashed off an embankment. State police say Graham was armed after the crash, and that's when they say a Columbia County Sheriff's deputy opened fire. That deputy is now on leave. Authorities did not say whether Graham fired his gun. It's also not clear why deputies were chasing him to begin with, but they say Graham also led police on a different chase the day before and got away. In Deschutes County, a second body has been recovered after 6 people went over Dillon Falls west of Bend while tubing over the weekend. 3 people were rescued and taken to the hospital. 2 others died, and crews are still looking for the remaining body.
Our operations primarily consist around using dive teams to search areas of interest based on information we've received both from canine teams that have been searching the area in conjunction with our Marine Patrol, as well as drone flights.
Officials say that they will continue their efforts to find the 6th person for however long it takes. There are signs posted around the area warning people floating on the river to get out before the drop. Your time now is 8:35. An IT outage canceled nearly 200 flights Sunday night, leading to a ground stop and leaving thousands of travelers stranded. Even as operations resumed yesterday, problems at SeaTac piled up. Our sister station Seattle reports.
I'm exhausted. I just want to get home.
For Katie Holland,
I'm exhausted. I'm burned out.
after a sleepless night, she's facing a daunting day.
I'm trying to get from Juneau to Orlando, Florida.
Reaching her destination is difficult after Alaska Airlines had to halt operations Sunday night, even as planes were on the tarmac preparing for takeoff.
We waited there for 3 hours on the plane. Then they finally took us off the plane, said wait in the terminal.
Immediately it was clear from the pilot that something was wrong with he told us the IT was having a problem.
I was like, what?
The airline says an unexpected failure of critical third-party hardware led to a nationwide ground stop for 3 hours.
No, stay right here. Stay right here.
Now the scramble to return to normal operations in this packed airport
Kiosks are all on this side.
means confused travelers,
Absolute misery. Honestly, one of the worst days of my life.
disruptive delays, and long lines.
We've been in that line for about 2 hours until we just got an automatic reschedule.
And that reschedule was for Wednesday,
Yeah.
which is 2 days later than we were intending on leaving here. So that is lost time at work.
Yeah.
And that is money we've had to spend finding an Airbnb.
I waited like 5 hours and then they canceled my flight. And then I waited this morning in a 7-hour line. And now I'm waiting this line to get my luggage.
The backlog and baggage claim is another part of the problem.
We have no answers. We don't know where we're going to go or when or how. And we all met up in Seattle, and here we are, stuck.
It's just a mess.
Natalie Swaby, King 5 News.
And of course, we wanted to check out PDX for you this morning. It's looking pretty good. We've got a few delays and one's cancellation for Alaska flights, but we'll keep you updated if anything changes. All right, let's head over to meteorologist Chris McGinnis for a look at weather.
All right, thank you for that, China. Let's get you out the door with a live look from our Wells Fargo sky camera. Again, a slate gray sky over downtown Portland this morning. That marine cloud cover has worked its way all the way south down towards the Sherwood area. 60 last check at the airport. It is clear above the cloud deck, as in it doesn't extend up beyond 3,500 feet or so. This is a live look right now from our Timberline sky camera. Clear over the mountains, 52 by the way, 6,000 feet on Mount Hood. There you can see the clouds with the different camera here at Timberline pointed south. This cloud deck has been slowly easing back from the mountains. It's slowly retreating, and the sun peeking out over Mount Jefferson and the Three Sisters off in the distance there, a sign of things to come. All right, here's a look at the visible satellite imagery, and now that we're deeper into our morning and we've got more daylight, the light of day, it illuminates the clouds there along the coast. Those are slowly beginning to peel back. Cloud cover in the Willamette Valley still, pretty thick here from Clackamas County on north up into Clark County, and then along the Columbia River up through Cowlitz County and out to the ocean along the North Oregon coast. That will retreat as we get into late morning, and eventually we see sunshine. And Futurecast bears that out pretty nicely here. This is at noon. North coast maybe still a little cloudy at noon, but otherwise everybody else clearing out. And by the time we roll into the afternoon, pretty much everybody is seeing sunshine. One thing to point out, there's at least the outside chance of a few showers east of the Cascades, well east of the Cascades, getting out towards Burns, Baker City, and up towards the Wallowas in northeast Oregon. But outside of that, our forecast is high and dry for the next several days for sure. Futurecast has Portland getting into the mid-80s today. Again, warmer than yesterday. We were 78 yesterday, so we'll be up to about 86 or so this afternoon, and warmer still tomorrow. Wednesday is the peak of the heat this week at 90. All right, let's get you out the door with a look at the roads. A reminder, in the gorge, SR 14 remains closed because of the ongoing Burdoin Mountain wildfire fighting efforts there. That closure from milepost 66 to 75. So, again, your traffic solution to get around that, of course, is going to be Interstate 84 on the Oregon side. Getting you back to Clark County, I-5 southbound, the end of the line has actually cleared the interstate bridge, but once you do and you cross it, it's slow through North Portland. Here's a live look right now up near the Expo Center. Southbound traffic puttering along, really puttering along at about 15 miles an hour there. We'll switch gears real quick over to Gladstone, a little slow and go on 205 south, and a quick check of the trip through Tualatin. Not bad. Total drive in from Wilsonville. China, right now that averages about 30 minutes.
Thank you, Chris. A big step for Boeing and for the future of air cargo. After the break, we take you inside the Everett factory for a look at the company's next generation freighter.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Boeing has officially kicked off production for its next generation freighter jet. Bridget Chavez with our sister station in Seattle takes a look at the jet that promises to deliver some big changes to both fuel efficiency and design.
We're inside Boeing's Everett factory where crews just drilled the first hole in the wing spar of the 777-8 freighter, officially kicking off production.
2, 1, drill that hole!
And just like that.
All right, there it is.
Boeing hit a major milestone.
And this is inside the end effector where the actual drilling takes place.
Casey McDowell, who's been with the company for nearly 2 decades, did the honors.
They said, "Oh, you're going to push the button." And I said, "Okay." And then all this happened.
That single hole marks the official start of production for the 777-8 freighter. It's drilled into the first wing spar, a long reinforced beam that helps carry the weight of the jet. Each wing has 2 spars, and on this jet, they're made from carbon fiber instead of metal, a first for a Boeing freighter.
It's carbon fiber strands, pre-pregged epoxy, basically, and then it goes into an autoclave. They bake it, becomes very hard and very strong and flexible. So like for fishing poles and things like that, same material.
Boeing says this jet can carry more cargo for less money. It's 30% more fuel efficient and about 60% quieter than the older jets it will eventually replace, like earlier 777F models.
This airplane will change
economics for our operators. They'll be able to transit goods, high value goods around the world at pace, at scale, in their operations for consumers.
The jet was expected to fly sooner, but the timeline shifted from Boeing's initial 2027 goal.
I can't speak explicitly to the delay. What I can tell you is that we're working very hard at achieving the introduction of the 777-8 freighter.
Drilling a first hole may not seem like much.
When you step back and things like this happen, you realize how much of a big deal it is.
But it marks the beginning of something much bigger.
From this point to that point, this part becomes unrecognizable.
And for the people building this jet, there's nothing like seeing it soar.
When they take off or when they come in for a landing, especially when the tower runs them right along the road over there, it's amazing to watch them come in like that. You're like, holy cow, I had a hand in that.
Your time now is 8:45. We are taking a look from the Dallas Skycam at the Oregon Veterans Home looking towards Mount Hood. It looks very pretty out there. I would say about 2 hours on the morning show. It looked cloudy and
depends on what side of the mountain you're on. Yeah, so the east side has been sunny, the marine cloud duct, and you bring up a good point there. The clouds don't make it up and over the Cascades, so they're socked in right around 3,000 feet or so. So the clouds don't make it over. East side sunny and warm. The west side has been somewhat cloudy, although literally in the last 10 or 15 minutes, our camera here from Sherwood, the Shea Hallam Tasting Room camera in Sherwood, you've seen the clouds actually retreat. If you were watching us literally 10 or 15 minutes ago, we had pretty solid cloud cover, but now the sun is doing its thing to melt that cloud cover away, if you will. All right, let's switch gears and give you a little different perspective here from Timberline, where it is clear above. It's 52 degrees, by the way, at 6,000 feet on Mount Hood. The camera from the tippy top of the Wells Fargo sky camera here, tippy top of the Wells Fargo building, showing that slate gray sky over downtown. But already, and just standing here in downtown Portland, I can tell you that we are seeing some bright spots in the clouds. So they are starting to break up a bit. 60 now at the airport. It's 59 in Hillsborough and King City, down to the south, 60 in Salem. And the big picture across the state right now, low 60s out towards Pendleton. John Day picked up more than a half an inch of rain yesterday. Really, really good stuff to get rain on parched land across parts of the state yesterday. We're done with the rain. That system is out of here for most of us. There is the outside chance that we could pop a shower out in the Blues and the Wallowas later this afternoon, but outside of that, we're high and dry, and we will be high and dry through the 7-day forecast. Visible satellite imagery, now that we've got the light of day, it does a really nice job of picking up, the cloud cover, which is socked in along the coast, but in the last couple frames, you can also start it seeing to retreat just a little bit, and that is a sign of things to come. We've got full sun in the forecast later today, as Futurecast reveals, and there's that outside chance of a stray shower in far eastern Oregon today. At the beach, we're starting with cloud cover, but again, that burns off. We finished the day with mostly sunny conditions and highs in the mid-60s. Back to the Dalles. China pointed this out a little bit ago. It's nice and clear on that side of the state. And right now we've got west winds picking up a little bit. They'll get gustier later this afternoon. So a bit of a concern, of course, for the ongoing wildfire fighting efforts there. In Central Oregon, we do have areas of wildfire smoke and haze, 87. It's clear in Salem, and the valley forecast today is warmer than yesterday. And in fact, so too as we go up the I-5 corridor. So Longview, yesterday you were in the low 70s. Today we shoot for about 81. Portland, yesterday we were 78. Today we shoot for about 86. Salem and Corvallis could be inching towards 90, if not today, definitely tomorrow. Futurecast likes 86 here in Portland. And our 7-day forecast dials up the heat a little bit more for Wednesday. Wednesday is the peak of the heat this week with a high near 90. And then we back it down just a little bit. We keep the sunshine, though, going right into the weekend. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads and the drive times. I-5 South, still our slow spot this morning-ish. The end of the line, though, has crossed the interstate bridge. So we're down to about 20 minutes or so to get you from bridge to bridge, from the Fremont to the interstate. There's the live look up near the Expo Center. Southbound traffic moving from right to left on the left-hand side of your screen. There's the drive through Gladstone. That's actually getting a little bit better. I-205 South, though, still kind of thick from Gladstone to Westland. And last but not least, I-5 through Tualatin. Right now puttering along at about 16 miles an hour or so. That trip in from Wilsonville just shy of 30. China?
Thank you, Chris. Oh, do we have some birthdays to celebrate today? We're going to start off with Miles turning 7. No, we're starting with Justin. We had Miles. Miles is no longer here. We have Justin turning 7. And then we have Gage. Gage, do we have Gage? Nope, there's Miles. We got back Miles. Look at him, happy in the sun, happy birthday. Then we have Gage. All right, we're back on track. Gage, excuse me, smiling with a little firecracker in his hand. Up next, we have Grant. We don't know how old Grant is, but we know that he's happy and smiling and celebrating with friends. So happy birthday, Grant. And then we have Ann turning 40. And then we have Tony turning 60 in North Bend. So if you have a birthday shout out that you want to share with us, send an email to birthdays@kgw.com. The Hollywood Library in Northeast Portland is closing today as part of an ongoing library renovation project in Multnomah County. New features will include an upgraded children's area, a tech bar, fresh paint, and new carpet. The work is expected to continue until at least sometime this winter. It's all part of the voter-approved 2020 library building bond. And hey, we wanted to remind you that the KGW School Supply Drive is coming soon to a school district near you, and you can join us. Go to kgw.com/school to sign up your business or organization to be an official school supply drive collection site. Help us collect school supplies and send thousands of kids and teachers in the area back to school with the tools they need. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
In our top stories this morning, the Burdoin fire burning on the Washington side of the gorge in Clackamas County has burned more than 10,000 acres and is 0% contained. At least 14 homes have been lost and dozens more damaged. Level 1, 2, and 3 evacuation orders remain in place. In Deschutes County, a second body has been recovered after 6 people went over Dillon Falls west of Bend while tubing over the weekend. 3 people were taken to the hospital, 2 others died. Crews are still looking for the remaining body. And in Southeast Portland, police arrested a man after an hours-long standoff at the Mall 205 Target store. It started around 10:30 yesterday morning when police say the man threatened a security guard with a knife and a hatchet, then ran inside the store. Officers eventually found the man hiding in a storage area on the second-story shelf. Now, crisis negotiators talked with him for more than 5 hours before he finally dropped the knife and surrendered.
All right, here's a live look from our Rose City sky camera. Slate gray sky over downtown, but it is starting to brighten up. And by that, I mean we're starting to poke some holes in that cloud cover. And that should happen pretty quickly here across the rest of the metro area as we go through the morning hours here. Let's advance this. We go from 60s right now to about 86 this afternoon to 90 tomorrow. Wednesday is the hot day of the week, and then we dial it back down just a little bit as we head towards the weekend. Let's get you out the door with a live look at the roads, and that is moving slowly. I-5 southbound up near Columbia Boulevard, puttering along at about 8 to 10 miles an hour at this point. That's one of our last really slow spots. There's a quick look at the Banfield. rolling from the bottom to the top of your screen through the Hollywood district. At last check, that's about 30 minutes to get you from Troutdale to the I-5 split. China?
All right, we have one last story to get to you right now. So Earth is spinning faster this summer, making the days just slightly shorter. So this is a little complicated, so stay with me here. July 10th was the shortest day of the year so far, lasting 1.36 milliseconds, less than 24 hours. You got that, Chris?
I knew that it was going faster.
Okay, so
I
while
just knew the days were flying by.
Okay, so we have more to get to. While these differences don't affect everyday life, they can affect computers and satellites. So now, scientists are thinking of taking 1 second off the clock, a so-called negative leap second, if you will, which is a kind of like a leap year, but opposite. That negative second would help get the clocks back on track.
Mind blown.
Mind blown.
And the people that can figure that stuff out, kudos to them.
I wonder if we just didn't change the clock and nobody would notice.
But then we would just be off by like 1/1,000,000,000 of a second, and that would be terrible.
That would be horrible. Hey, earlier this morning, we asked some of you to text photos of your hiking, and you did. We had a bunch of photos, so we're gonna start off with, we have John and Corinne and Mount Hood. We have Shay and Corinne and Dog Mountain. And then we have Doug, Lisa, and Bo. Bo is the dog, I know that. I've been told that Bo is the dog, not Doug. But hey, we really appreciate when you send your photos in. We love getting you guys involved and learning more about our viewers. And a reminder, you can watch sunrise every day live here exclusively on KGW Plus at 7 o'clock. Have a great day.